We meet in the week where you do the spin-off of Alcon, one of your daughter companies. When I read articles about Alcon, there's always it's been a stepdaughter all the way. It hasn't been so popular. You always try to involve it more, but it was always a struggle. When I take that reasoning, is it fair to say that you're quite happy about that spin-off now?
I'm happy about the spin-off because it fits with the broader strategy of the company. Our strategy now is to focus as a medicines company powered by data science, digital technologies, as well as these advanced therapy platforms, things like cell therapies and gene therapies, which we believe will allow us to be successful.
That's the core business, right?
That's the core. And we want to invest our capital in that core innovation engine. Now, Alcon is a great company. I mean, Alcon has been a leader in medical devices for ophthalmology for decades. We believe separating the business, letting it focus on medical devices and vision care will enable it to succeed and enable us to focus on our core of medicines, what we've been great at doing for a century, really. So I think it's the right move for both companies, and it's a good moment to do it.
That concentrating on the core business, of course, that is the strategy that you chose as well. Isn't there a risk as well? Because if you go back, I don't know, 5-10 years, everybody was talking about diversifying and going into different topics and going into different areas, and with medtech as well. Now you're deliberately parting ways with those. Isn't that a risk as well?
It is part of a whole strategy at Novartis to focus in medicines and really, give the investors the choice to invest in a company that's not a diversified healthcare conglomerate, not too focused a pharmaceutical company, but the way I like to look at it is a diversified medicines company. I believe there is enough opportunity within the world of medicines that you can use your capital to build a fair amount of diversification within medicines. The way we do that is we work across different disease areas, whether it's cancer, heart disease, eye disease, lung disease, or immunology diseases. So we're diversified into the diseases we tackle. And we're also diversified in terms of technologies. We have the old world small pill drugs. We have biologics, which are injectables. We have the world of cell therapies and gene therapies. And we want to be diversified across those platforms. So in that way, I want to be that diversified medicines company and use our capital there.
By focusing on medicines, is it fair to say that this is mainly you as well? Because as a trained doctor, I guess, and you've worked in those areas as well before you became a CEO, is that close to your heart? And would you say that this is not only the core of Novartis, but it's the core of you in there as well?
I'm very passionate about medicines, and I'm also passionate about developing medicines. As you rightfully say, most of my career here at the company was spent developing vaccines and drugs and bringing the next wave of innovations to patients. So I am very passionate and believe this is the right mission, but I also think it fits with our core strength as a company. When you look at Novartis over decades, our strength has been researching and developing new ways to really treat disease. And by building on that strength, I think we can win on the long term. So I think this fits, of course, with me, but more importantly, it fits with, I think, the true strength of Novartis.
What does that mean for the future strategy of Novartis, for acquisitions, for example? Are you concentrating on that clear niche in a way as well? So just mainly medicines is the time of buying, I don't know, medtech companies over?
I would say yes. I mean, our focus is going to be to use our capital to invest in these new therapeutic platforms. So whether, again, cell or gene therapies, or new technologies and new medicines within our core therapeutic areas. And I think there's enough opportunity there to really do a lot. Last year, we did about $15 billion of acquisitions in our core of medicines. This year, we just announced last week another acquisition for around $300 million of another immunology company. So I think that shows we can actually use our capital to build on this core strength of innovative medicines.
How about selling? There's always talks about Sandoz, for example.
Sandoz is a critical part of Novartis. We're investing right now to enable Sandoz to be a leading generics player. We want it to be autonomous within Novartis because what we've learned is a generics company needs to be separated from an innovative company to be really successful. They have a different mindset, very focused on cost, very focused on speed. And so we want to enable Sandoz to succeed, but we're very committed to Sandoz, and we want to see Sandoz succeed within Novartis.